We all know artificial intelligence is completely reshaping healthcare, right? From diagnostics to just managing mountains of data. But here's a question. Can an algorithm, a piece of code, actually understand something as fundamentally human as compassion? Today we're going to put AI to the test, comparing its take on compassion with what nurses live and breathe on the front lines every single day.
So let's just dive right into the heart of it. Can AI really teach compassion? We literally asked an AI to define it for us in the context of nursing. And now we're going to put that definition right up against the real, messy, lived experiences of nurses out there.
All right, so first up, this whole question of compassion. We're setting up a little showdown here, a comparison between two totally different ways of looking at the exact same idea. You've got the cold, hard logic of a machine on one side and the warmth of human experience on the other.
Think of it like this. We have two main characters in our story today. In one corner, you've got the AI. It's all about logic, patterns, data. And in the other corner, you have the human nurse. They're defined by empathy, intuition, and just that direct human connection.
Okay, so let's start with the AI. Let's see what it came up with. This is its purely data-driven, logical thesis on what it means to be compassionate in a hospital room.
You know, what's really interesting here is the definition is perfect. I mean, technically. It hits all the keywords you'd expect. Recognize suffering, take action, empathy, communication. It's clean, it's articulate. It basically describes a process, a system, for delivering compassionate care.
And that's really the key takeaway from the AI's point of view. Compassion is a procedure. You identify a problem, in this case patient suffering, and then you execute a solution to make it better. It's logical, it's efficient, and you know what? On paper, it makes perfect sense.
But now let's pivot. Let's move from that clean, neat definition to reality. Let's bring in the nurse's perspective and see how that procedural definition holds up in the messy, unpredictable, and deeply human world of actual patient care.
And this quote from a nurse, wow, it just gets right to the heart of the difference, doesn't it? It's not just about seeing a problem from a distance and fixing it. It's about being present with that suffering. It's about sharing a moment, not just managing a data point.
Let me paint you a picture that just illustrates this so perfectly. Imagine it's 3 in the morning in the ICU. A ventilator alarm goes off. The nurse rushes in, stabilizes the patient, does all the technical things that have to be done. And AI could probably help with that part. But what happens next? That's the human part. The nurse pauses, puts a hand on the patient's shoulder, and just reassures him. That is presence. That isn't programming.
This is the core argument, right here. An AI has unbelievable intelligence, but human compassion? It has that same intelligence plus a heartbeat. It's the difference between analyzing distress signals from a monitor and actually feeling a pang of empathy for the person going through it.
And hey, this isn't just a gut feeling. The research totally backs this up. When you ask patients what makes a nurse seem compassionate, they don't talk about how well a protocol was followed. Nope. They talk about these things. The warmth in someone's voice, the reassurance of a simple touch, the simple act of someone taking a minute to just be there.
I mean, just look at this chart. The data is crystal clear. Patient satisfaction is overwhelmingly driven by these relational human behaviors. That connection is what truly matters, what makes a patient feel cared for, not just processed. The perfect execution of a procedure, it comes in a distant second.
So, where does that leave us? We've got the AI's logic on one side and the nurse's reality on the other. This brings us to the synthesis of it all, which really comes down to one critical difference: pattern versus presence. Think about it. An AI can be trained on millions of examples. It can learn the patterns of compassionate behavior. It can know the right words to say at the right time. But a nurse doesn't just replicate a pattern. A nurse lives that experience in the moment, creating real compassion from a place of shared humanity.
So here's the thing. The AI wasn't wrong with its definition. Not at all. It was just incomplete. The gap isn't in the dictionary definition. It's in the experience. An AI can describe compassion, but it can't authentically demonstrate it because it simply cannot feel it. And really, this is what it all boils down to. True compassion in nursing is this incredible blend of two things. It's the science, understanding vital signs, managing meds, all the stuff an AI can actually be great at. But it's also the art. Reading the fear in someone's eyes, hearing the worry in their voice, knowing when silence is more powerful than words. That art, that is profoundly human.
So once you really get this distinction, the art and the science, It lets us have a totally new conversation about AI in healthcare. We can move beyond the simple, kind of fear-based stories about robots taking over.
Because based on everything we've just talked about, this is fundamentally the wrong question. It's not about replacement. The idea is that AI can be an amazing tool to handle the science of nursing, which could free up human nurses to focus even more on the art. The whole idea of replacement just misses the point of where the real value is.
And so, we'll leave you with this final thought. Maybe the greatest role AI will play in a field like nursing isn't to become more like us, but to actually hold up a mirror. By showing us the absolute limits of pure logic and data, it reminds us of what makes us truly irreplaceable: our empathy, our presence, our intelligence with a heartbeat.